Hi, everybody. It's Mark Rushton of MarkRushton.com. It is Monday, January 17th, 2022. And this video is called Earning Royalties from Prisons, Libraries, and Virtual Reality Headsets. And that's something that I noticed. Well, some of it I have done before and some of it I haven't. So I'm going to talk about that. So I'm a recording artist. I've been publishing my music for about 20 years here, 18 years on digital services. First with downloads and then later on with the streaming services. And it's fun to see the markets expand and get around worldwide. And I love finding, I guess I probably had royalties from pretty much every country that has a streaming service in it now. I mean, recently I got I go through I don't spend forever looking at the data, but I load up things in Excel and I filter them, and it's fun to see the various countries in there. I mean, the first time I saw something like, Kyrgyzstan or Kazakhstan or Belarus, I was just Russia, right? Oh my God, I got royalties from Russia. That was a few years ago. Or Vietnam, right? Royalties from recently was the Gabon, right? It's like the Gabon, and then all these other countries I'd never heard of in Africa. These really, really small countries, and it's not very much money, but it's part of the pie. And what was the other one? Burkina Faso. I got. It's like I looked up. What's going on in? Oh, they have a civil war going on there. Wow, I'm getting getting royalties from a country with a civil war. Okay, all right. The craziest thing. Absolutely the craziest thing. So beyond that, beyond the country thing, there's everything that you earn from the mechanical royalties. So if you're signed up to a service like like what I do with Song Trust. Song Trust is my worldwide administrator, the collector of mechanical and publishing royalties for my sound recordings that are streamed or whatever, certain aspects of it. Other companies have these other little things, but Song Trust handles the main part of it. So if you stream my music in the UK, they're able to get that mechanical and publishing royalty from the British Home Office. Yeah. And it'll be here in about 2 years. But it eventually arrives. But oh my God, what a wait, right? So today, Song Trust, overnight, they had updated sort of estimates with regard to reporting. And they do sort of every few weeks, they sort of update the current quarter, and what's going to be you may get in the next quarter as that data comes in. And you can go in and kind of filter things a little bit. It's not quite Excel, but it's sort of like Excel. And so I always go through there because I'm always curious. What am I getting? Is everything coming in properly? And everything is almost coming in properly now from the MLC. A year after the MLC, it's not the MLC's fault, but just watching that transition going on. I'm getting still very small amounts of money, mechanical royalties from Spotify, when I should be getting a lot more. I think we'll get that solved here in 2022. But the thing I noticed today were three things: prisons, libraries, and virtual reality headsets. So the first thing was that I noticed I'd gotten mechanical royalties from August 2021 for a company from something called GTL. And I'm like, what is I've never seen this before. What is GTL? So, I'm like a hawk about this sort of stuff. And so it's GTL streaming, I could see that it was like a US based thing, right? And I think, and it's a streaming service for corrections, for prisoners. So, and when people are in prison or jail, they have most of the time, they have access to these little devices. I don't know what they are. I don't. Maybe they're little. Um, they're probably like Android-based tablets or some with specific software in it that you have to preload, and that gives them entertainment to focus on while they're in jail, in prison, and that's good. That's good. You need to have something. You need to have something in there other than just TV, right? Or lifting showers and taking weights. So it's good that they're consuming that. I had no idea that that sort of thing existed, and uh, wasn't a huge amount of money, but it was, I was surprised, and it was some ASMR stuff that I had recorded several years ago that does nothing anywhere else, and I guess I have the prison market wrapped up, right? That was great to see. Very interesting to see. Very unusual. The whole these are just here's the thing, and I go on and on about this all the time. People are looking for the sounds that you make, the music that you make. They're not necessarily looking for you. Don't get hung up on the streaming service. Get distributed. Be everywhere. Don't be stuck on the island of Bandcamp. Don't just do physical media, right? Just be everywhere. Have your stuff. People are going to discover it eventually over time. The second thing is Hoopla, which I have been receiving royalties from for a couple of years now. And the weird thing is that I got access to Hoopla through one of my local libraries, and I couldn't find. I know which tracks have been generating um, uh, mechanical royalties. They don't generate a streaming royalty. They just generate the mechanical. I don't know if they generate a publishing. I haven't seen that yet, but they at least generate a mechanical royalty. It's not very much. And so I had access to a Hoopla account, and none of those titles were at least available through my library. It was perhaps a different type of, maybe they have them for different types of different levels, Jerry, for different library. Who knows? I have no idea how that works. But I couldn't find my stuff on there. I was just curious, Whenever I see that, I always kind of want to like see how that's presented. And that doesn't mean I want to go to jail or prison to see what GTL is like, right? Like, oh wow, can I just go to jail for what? Just to use the little prisoner tablet? No, 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 no. So Hoopla, that's cool. That's cool. Accessing it through the library, that's great. The other royalty that I got recently was for use of one of my sound recordings on a Melody VR, a virtual reality headset. And I don't know how that works. They chose something while wearing a VR headset that generated some kind of royalty, and that's cool. How they got access to that, who knows? That's probably one of those license agreements that I signed either through music reports or sometimes when it gets distributed to a certain company, like MediaNet and things like that. Those companies kind of have tentacles and they branch off into other things. So I don't really know how that gets there, but that's fascinating. So those are the three ones. Yeah, earning royalties from prisoners, libraries, and virtual reality headsets. Now there's another one that I'm eventually going to talk about, probably hopefully in the next week or 10 days, and that is fitness applications. I'd signed sort of a license deal with through Music Reports on Peloton a year or two ago. I've earned a little bit of money on that. And then Apple Fitness Plus, which is a subscription service that does fitness apps, me- guided meditations, and stuff like that. It's some of my long form ambient is obviously being used on some of the long form meditations. That is fascinating. And then I just recently Apple Fitness Plus is in 5 countries, and then as of November 2021, they were expanding that to 15 more countries. So kind of curious. So I'd gotten some numbers around Christmas, and that was like, oh, this is nice. And so I'm curious to see what's down the road. It's just all these different, uses of music. When I started off, with the digital distribution, and now I don't mean like 2004, I mean like 2008 to 2012, when we're kind of bridging the years between, uh, you know, uh, downloads and Pandora Radio and all that sort of stuff. I got into things like, um, Soma FM, which is internet radio, DMX Music, which is a cable internet service. I still get a little bit of money from DMX Music every few months. What's the other thing? Yeah, Sirius XM. Somewhere somebody's playing or listening to something, a little bit of royalty. And I haven't pursued that at all. I don't know how that happened, but that's nice. I don't deal with terrestrial radio at all. I don't deal. Most of internet radio was, um, largely, um, scaled back several years ago. There was something that was going on with the royalty rate and everything like that. So I haven't really pursued that much. I know a lot of people do that. There's a lot of good, kind of electronic and EDM sort of station, but I don't really do that sort of stuff. So, how do you get in and you submit? And there's probably everybody in their bedroom is submitting that sort of thing. That doesn't really interest me. But anyway, that's I just love talking about this. I can't talk about this with the wife and everybody around me, and who cares, right? So I talk to the camera. Maybe somebody else will watch this and I don't know, either be interested or wonder how you can do this sort of thing. And it's just getting your music and sounds out onto streaming services, um, signing up for things like music reports, and agreeing to all the licensing deals that come in. Most of them are worth nothing. Sometimes they're worth something. I remember a TikTok. It was about what, two and a half years ago. I was like, "Oh, TikTok, what is that?" Oh, that's like teenage girls dancing around their bedroom, lip syncing to songs. I'm like, I'll never make any money off this. Yeah, I'm making wine money or whatever. It's like, oh, now that's kind of turning into something. That's good. That's kind of cool. Ah, it's just, I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's my opinion about this sort of stuff is that, if you regularly produce new music, different kinds of music, and you regularly release it, and you build it into playlists and get it out there and all that over time, and then you agree to these extra things, and you're distributed everywhere. That eventually, you start rolling that snowball down the hill, and it becomes this huge thing. And that's again, it's not a huge. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not buying my 10th mansion like Taylor Swift or anything like that. But it's nice. It's nice. It's not. I just. It's the best time for musicians ever. Really, really. And and if you don't agree with me, then you're doing something wrong. I don't even know what I'm doing, and I'm just going with the flow and learning things along the way. There's no cheat codes. There's no there's no nepotism. There's no, I don't know. But I don't know. I really like digging into the data. I dig digging into the data. So now I've got into rambling territory, but as you can see, my excitement is palpable over very small amounts of money and prisoners streaming my ASMR sounds. It's very, very odd, but I'll take it, and talk to you later.